So 12 years ago when I was working on my PhD, I had gotten taken advantage of. I was in a very abusive relationship with a girl, and when it was all said and done, I had almost dropped out of school. I had to work very hard to get back on track, and I had been set back financially almost back to when I was 18, basically. And when I reflected back on it, and sometimes I've retold the story many times because I don't want other people to make the same mistakes that I do. When I reflect back on it, I often think about there were many opportunities during the 6 months we were together. There were plenty of opportunities where I could have ended things, or warning signs had shown up, or that things could have been ended more gracefully, right? When I finally did break up with her, I discovered that all the fun stuff that I thought I needed a partner to do, I really didn't, right? That was the main relief I got at the end of the relationship, right? And I thought about there were many opportunities during the time I was with her, and before I even met her, that I could have realized that, right? So that was 12 years ago. Now fast forward to the year 2020, we have a very abusive relationship with our clocks that we like to adjust the clocks twice a year. And it's really hard to get everybody on the same page to break up with it, right? Everybody wants to, most people want to break up with it. Everybody seems to assume nobody else wants to do it. And in 2020, for the first time in 102 years, right, we finally get this opportunity of a lifetime to break up gracefully with her. And nobody was commuting anywhere, and nobody had a schedule to tend to. In fact, people's schedules were all messed up anyway, right, including my own. So we've missed quite a few opportunities to break up with this beast, if you will, right? We missed the most beautiful opportunity of a lifetime in March of 2020, but even the one in November of 2020 was not so bad, right? It would have put us on an awkward timetable, but at least we wouldn't have to change our clocks. If I remember correctly, November we were still very slow, right? Not nearly as slow as March 2020. I think at the time, here in Washington at least, you couldn't go to food services, but a lot of other non-essential businesses were open. Now then in March of 2021, we also could have ended that relationship, right? Not nearly as ideal as March 2020. It would have put us on standard time though, and we could have well, at the time I think a lot more things were open. There was a lot of concern about, if I remember correctly, March of 2021 was when we were starting to get concerned that we might have to take this pharmaceutical drug just to go out in public, right? That concern has waned a lot, obviously. We missed an opportunity in November of 2021. That was probably the least ideal out of these four. And right now, as I speak, we got 12 more hours to decide if we want to break up this time. I'm not holding my breath that our leaders are going to do it. But you know what? Individually, we could break up with this, right? Especially if you are a leader in some kind of a small business or even a larger corporation, right? If you're one of the decision makers. But even if not, if a million people individually broke up with this thing, it could get us somewhere, right? So I encourage you when over the next 8 months or so, right, when you talk to your peers and you schedule things, you can point out that what time it is in standard time, or whatever timekeeping system you like, right? I usually like to use mean solar time because I love stargazing, right? And if I want to get something at the meridian, I have to convert that when I go to Ellensburg even, right? It's about a 7-minute difference, right? So in my mind, mean solar time is the main timekeeping system that I use. And sometimes, depending on how well the person I'm talking to knows about astrology, I'll mention what time it is in mean solar time. You could do that. You could also use a universal coordinated time, especially if you work with people from different regions or you travel a bit, right? Anyway, so we miss our 5th opportunity to break up in an abusive relationship, right? How many times have you been in a relationship where you finally broke up and you're like, I should have done this many years ago or many months ago, and you realize how many of those you missed, right? This is 5 that we've missed, and we're not going to get another series of opportunities like this for another century, right? It almost feels sad if you stop to think of it that way, right? This is probably our last chance, right? If we wait till this November, first of all, that puts us on daylight time, and hopefully we're not. I mean, today Washington got rid of the mask mandate, so okay, break up with it.